Welcome to Dog Food TV, another installment. Happy Friday to you on Friday the 13th. I'm feeling real Halloweenish right now, so I got the strong orange vibes going. You may notice a little bit difference backdrop on the set, so try to liven it up and all of that. So hope that has a little bit more coziness and sports related feel to the show. Before we get started, this is the 49ers week, so I went into the little vault here. I got a little old game day program. Some of you might remember that. This is Cleveland 49ers edition, Cleveland versus San Francisco, November 15th, 1981, Candlestick Park. I believe they won that game, and I think your guy right there picked off Montana at the end. I'm almost certain of that. I think that was that game. But nonetheless, this is 49ers week. Fast forward to 2023. And the Browns are going into that game a little bit banged up. Deshaun Watson isn't going to play, but it's not as much of a matchup mismatch as some would have you believe. So let's take a look real quick. I wanna look at Brock Purdy, the defenses that he's faced in this. I think he's 12 or 13 something like that. So let's start with 2022. He played the 24th ranked Dolphins, the 13th ranked Buccaneers, the 25th ranked Seahawks, the 7th ranked Commanders, the 26th ranked Raiders, the 31st ranked Cardinals. And then these last two, I believe, are playoff games, the 25th ranked Seahawks, and then the 6th ranked Dallas Cowboys. So 2 times in 2022, he went up against a top 10 defense. Let's take a look at what happened against we can start with the Cowboys first. That was a playoff game. And in that game, the score of that game was 19-12. And, from what I remember about watching this game, both defenses did their thing, but Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions, I believe. Yeah, he went 23 of 37, 206 yards, 2 interceptions. The 49ers ran for 113 yards. Brock Purdy went 19 of 29 with 214 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So that game was 9-6 at the half, 49ers. And again, they just kind of pulled away at the end, 19-12. And so definitely both defenses did their thing in that one. But Brock Purdy didn't make the mistakes that Dak Prescott makes. And that's one thing that I would say is his strength, is that he can read coverage and that he doesn't make mistakes. He's not going to give the game away. He allows the defense and his weapons to, pretty much do the jobs that they need to do. And his job is not to turn the ball over. So if we look at the game, that was a regular season game against the 49ers, that was 37-20. That game was scoreless in the first quarter. It was tied at 7 at halftime. And then the 49ers really just put their foot on the gas in that one. The 49ers rushed for 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Commanders only rushed for 79 yards. And the Commanders threw for 270. The 49ers threw for 218. Looked like net passing yards there. Brock Purdy went 15-22, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Looked like the Commanders played Heineke and Wentz, so they had a 2-quarterback situation going on. But again, the Commanders' defense played well. They just didn't get a lot of help from the offense. And if we go to 2023 real quick, before we get into the actual matchup, we're going to make the prediction and everything in this video. But 2023, he played the 19th ranked Steelers, the 18th ranked Rams, the 29th ranked Giants, the 27th ranked Cardinals, and the 7th ranked Dallas Cowboys. Dallas was missing one of their top corners. Y'all saw that game. We don't even need to break that down. They got destroyed in that game. But this week, he's playing against the number 1 team against the run, number one team against the pass, and the number one defense overall. Regardless of who your quarterback is, that's going to give you a shot. Because as you see, they haven't faced a defense even remotely close like that. The closest defense that they would have played like that would have been looks like that would have been the Commanders. They were 11th against the run, 4th against the pass, number 7 overall. Now, the Cowboys were 22nd against the run and 8th against the pass, and they were 6th overall. Again, maybe that has something to do with the amount of points they were giving up, something like that. But again, that's not really the same. And even if you look at this year, the Cowboys this season are 21st against the run and 2nd against the pass for 7th overall. So not really dominant defenses. The Commanders were close, but they didn't have really the offense the whole season to help them out. So going into this game here, the Browns obviously are going to be starting a backup quarterback. And if you have a number one defense, you just need a quarterback to do what Brock Purdy's been doing. Not making any mistakes, not turning the ball over. PJ Walker, I don't know a lot about him. I know he played a few games last season. This is a new team, new scheme, new system. I would feel a lot better about it if they had Chubb. Obviously, Chubb is out for the season. So it's really going to come down to play calling and the field position game. And hopefully the defense is able to confuse Purdy, get some pressure on him, maybe get a couple of strip sacks and scoop that up for a touchdown. I do think in order for the Browns to have a chance, they're either going to need to hold them to single digits in points, the defense, or they're going to need to score 2 touchdowns to help out the offense. Based on those scenarios, it's going to be tough because the 49ers also have a top 5 defense. So the Browns may be able to hold serve with them in the first half, but the offense is definitely going to need to not get behind the 8 ball in the field position game, and they are not going to be able to turn the ball over. They've been talking about ball security. They're going to have to hold on to the ball. So with that being said, let's go ahead and try to get into this prediction. Let's look at the dog food terror alert meter real quick. And if I had to make a prediction, we're going to put Brock Purdy's dog food alert in the drive-through or takeout meter range, which would be in that blue or yellow area, because I do think that they're going to be able to mix up some of the schemes, some of the coverage, get some pressure on him, because he hasn't really seen a pass rush of this nature. I mean, obviously the Steelers have TJ Watt, but that was week 1. They may have still been working out the kinks, things of that nature. And then I know that the Commanders, you saw what the Commanders did. They was able to keep that game 7-7 at the half in 2022, and they have a solid defensive line as well. So that is definitely a advantage for the Browns in terms of their defensive line and what they should be able to do from a pressure standpoint. Hopefully those pressures are able to generate, and obviously losses of yardage and turnovers. So if we had to make a prediction, here's the problem. The 49ers have a top 5 defense, but their offense is also clicking. That's really the main difference in this game, is that offensively they are clicking. And if we had to look at top offenses for this season, the San Francisco 49ers are number 2 in team offense. The Cleveland Browns are number 30 in team offense. That is a problem. That's the problem right there. That's really the matchup right there in a nutshell, because the 49ers have an elite defense and they have an elite offense. The 49ers are number 7 in passing offense, and they are number 3 in rushing offense. The Browns will give themselves a chance if they are able to hold them. Looks like they average 156 yards a game on the ground, 49ers, 156.4. If they're able to cut that in half, so that'll be somewhere in the 77s, somewhere like that, because now you're putting them in longer passing situations. So you definitely have to eliminate the run game. You're going to have to do that. If they can't eliminate the run game, they're not going to have a chance. If they can eliminate the run game, I definitely think that, because if they eliminate the pass game and the run game, the 49ers are able to move the ball, eventually that's going to open up the pass game. So they're going to have to shut down the run game and make Brock Purdy do something that he really hasn't done, and that's make mistakes, make the wrong reads. So, and I know Bitonio is hurt. Obviously, Watson is out. So as much as I think they have a chance, like I do think they have a chance in this game, the offense just hasn't shown me enough to where I could pick them to win this game. So unfortunately, with that being said, I got the Browns losing this game to fall to 2-3. Now, we did this in the last video, but let's just do it real quick. Let's take a look at the Browns' remaining schedule. If they lose to the 49ers, that'll put them at 2-3. So that's 5 games. It's a 17-game season. So you got 12 games left. You're going to need to at least get to 10 wins to even have a shot to win the division. I think 12 is really the sweet spot. You need to win 12 games. So if there's 12 games left after week 6, that would mean that they would have to go 10-2 to get to 12 wins. 12 wins would put them at, what's that? They would be 2-3. So that'll put them at 14-3. I don't know if they're going 14-3. I'm sorry, 12-5. I don't know if they're going 12-5, but I think it's possible, because obviously the Ravens, that's going to be a tough one. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the Seahawks is going to be a tough one. Maybe we'll throw the Jaguars in there. So if those was 3 losses, so that'll put you at 9-3. And then 9-3 plus 2-3, that'll put you at 11-6. You're in striking distance to win the division, but I will say you're probably gonna have to win the rest of your division games, because right now you're 1-2. You lost to the Steelers, you lost to the Ravens, you beat the Bengals. So you're gonna need to go 4-2 to win the division. I think 3-3, you're probably putting yourself more in that wild card area, because how many NFC games do they have left? They got the Bears, the Rams, and the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. So you got 5 non-conference games, including the 49ers game coming up. So even if they lose this game to fall to 2-3, outside of the Seahawks and the Ravens game, all of these games are winnable, assuming you have a healthy Deshaun Watson that comes back. And I'm thinking he comes back probably around week 8, because they don't need him to beat the Colts. The Colts are playing with a backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew. So that's an away game, but it's not that far. So even if you split the next 2 games, which will put you at 3-4, no, they're 2-3. If they're 2-2, they lost to the 49ers. That put them at 2-3. And so you're at 3-3 at week 7. If you get to 3-3 after week 7, that's 500. You come back with a healthy Deshaun Watson. You are in prime position. And, let's just call it what it is. Let's just say on paper, that's a win. 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 The Ravens, the Bengals, the Jaguars, I mean, they're in a good spot. So all you Browns fans out there, no need to be pessimistic. The sky isn't falling. Yeah, it's an unfavorable situation to have to go with 3 quarterbacks in a season again. But I think once you get to week 8, you should start to see a little bit more momentum because the offense should be coming around by that point. And then around week 11 or 12, that'll be a full 16-game season for Deshaun Watson if you include the last 6 games. So, again, they're right where they need to be with a number 1 defense, with a top 3 overall defense. I think the top 3 defenses in the league are the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Browns. So as long as they maintain that top 3 pace, they will be fine. Now, the Ravens actually have to play the Titans this week, and I think that that's a bad matchup for them because they always have problems with the Titans. If I remember correctly, the Titans knocked them out the playoffs when they were wherever they were that year, 14-2 or whatever they were. I believe the Titans knocked them out the playoffs. They usually have issues with the Titans. So I do think the Titans may be able to walk away with a win in that game. The Steelers this week, they are on bye, so nothing for them there. And the Bengals have the Seahawks, which the Seahawks have a solid defense. So you're looking at a situation where even if you lose against the Steelers, the rest of the AFC, even if you lose against the 49ers, the rest of the AFC North may lose too, which that'll be ideal. So we'll see how it go. Again, unfortunately, I got the Browns losing to the 49ers, but again, the most important thing you want is a healthy Deshaun Watson. Real quickly, just to end it on this, there was a team that in week 14 lost their starting quarterback and had to run the backup quarterback for the rest of the season. They was able to win the division, but they were trying to go on a deep playoff run. But they was able to make it to the Super Bowl and ultimately win the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. They also had a top 10 defense, and that didn't hurt. I'm talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. You probably already knew that. The Browns, if that would have happened to them in week 14, I think the media would have stymied any momentum the team might have had with the backup to sow doubt, sow dissension, and all of that. And it just goes to show that just because you got a backup quarterback in there, that doesn't mean anything, especially when you have a top 10 defense. They play the games for a reason. And, maybe Kevin Stefanski will figure out what he needs to do offensively, now that he doesn't have a quarterback where the whole playbook is open. Maybe this is an opportunity for him to get a little bit more focused into the playbook and figure out what is, if you get down to the simplest form, what works with the weapons that I have. And when Deshaun Watson comes back, there's no need to change that. You can put a little window dressing on it to make it a little more complex, but I do think they need to simplify a little bit of what they do based on the personnel that they have. You can be physical, and there's nothing wrong with winning physical football games with a number 1 defense. But that'll do it for this installment of Dog Food TV, sponsored by Dog Food Store, www.dogfoodstore.com. You already know, if you're a Browns fan, that's spelled DAWG. And so gonna watch that game on Sunday, see how it go. Hopefully they can pull the upset. But stay away from the negativity. Keep it positive. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.